And we are live. Welcome, man. Welcome to the No Excuses Podcast, bro. Late night show. Happy Friday. It's December 12th, man. It is 8:43 p.m. Central Time. Guys, let's have a conversation. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Oh, hold on. Hold on. Breaking news. Hold on. Hold on. Trump administration is terminating the temporary protected status of Ethiopians in the United States. Interesting. We don't give a fuck about that, though. We don't give a fuck about that. We care about this topic right here. Yeah, not late night, but not really. It's only 8 o'clock, you know. But if the show goes well, I plan on extending this thing out until until the late night. So guys, make sure you're engaging, okay? Make sure you're tapping the screen, make sure you're liking the live. Let's go ahead and get the let's get the bar up. Y'all see the bar down there? If the bar is not going up, then I mean, we got to shut the show down. So, anybody that wants to book a consultation with me can text Bill to 256-857-2204. Okay. It only text me if you actually want to book a consultation. Okay. It is $80 a month. Only text me if you actually want to book a consultation. All right. Or if you want to like talk about it. You understand what I'm saying? But if you have no intention of actually doing it to better your life, if you're a business owner or if you're an employee, it's nothing against you. Just don't clog up the phone lines or nothing. Nothing against y'all though. Nothing against you. Anywho, let's get into this, shall we? All right. So, how do I want to say this? Well, I think we spend our evening screaming at the summit, don't we? Right? We look up at the mountaintop. The billionaire class is sitting up there. We look at the generational dynasties that are sitting up there. We shake our fists and we call them thieves and we call them parasites and we tell them, we need to take all your wealth and distribute it amongst everybody else because you're already good to go. You don't need it. And we tell ourselves that their abundance is the sole cause of our scarcity. And while that anger feels righteous, while it feels like justice, right? Like, yeah, we got it. We're sticking into the... I think it's a sedative. Blaming the rich, and I think a lot of y'all are drug addicts. I'm just going... Look, it's like a drug. A lot of you guys are drug addicts. A lot of the people within the middle class, y'all are tweaking out. You're tweaking the fuck out, okay? Because blaming the rich is the opioid of the middle class. It sedates you into believing that until they change, you can't move. Huh? Y'all like that? That is the great lie that has paralyzed the American middle class for 3 generations. Three generations. So let's talk about some uncomfortable shit. The failure of the middle class is not merely a crime that has been committed by the elite within the country. It is a failure of strategy. It is a failure of education. And it's a failure of the culture of the middle class itself as well. Y'all aren't learning the things that you need to learn to be successful here. Your parents aren't fucking teaching it to you. And I know that because I had a topic up here and I proved that your parents aren't teaching it to you. I also proved that just because you have the information, it's going to be very hard for you to help the generation that came before you because they're not going to listen to you, 26-year-old. They're not going to listen to you, 18-year-old. Hell, they're not going to listen to you, 35-year-old. Because they're your parents and they know better than you because they've been here longer than you, right? So if they know better than you and they've been here longer than you, then why didn't they teach it? Why didn't they teach you how to retire? Why didn't they teach you how to invest? Why didn't they teach you about real estate? Why did they teach you about starting a business, huh? Why is it that when you turned 18 years old, you didn't have a dime to get from your parents' custodial account? I'm sorry, from your custodial account that your parents was the custodian of. You didn't have a dime to get from them. All you had was this. And most of this ain't shit. It wasn't nothing to help you. I mean, let's be honest about it. Just be real about it, dog. Like, I'm I'm not talking about that today. That shit's gonna get me mad. Check this out. It's a failure of strategy, it's a failure of education, and it's a failure of culture within the middle class itself. If I'm being really honest, thanks for the follow, brother. Appreciate that. They failed to teach their children the language of power and have replaced it with the language of victimhood. You guys, the upper class and the middle class are not living in different tax brackets. They're playing entirely different sports. You're not playing the same game as the people that are up there playing. You don't even know the rules for the games that they're playing. And I try to teach it to you on here, but you guys are so combative with it that it's hard to put it in your brain. It's hard for you to rationalize it and actually think about it. It's hard for me to get you to open up a UTMA for your children. It's hard for me to get you to understand that 401ks are terrible and that Roth IRAs are better than 401ks in every regard. It's hard for me to get you to understand that it is not subjective how much money you need to retire in the country. The number's there. It's very hard for me to get you to understand you're buying cars that you can't afford. And that's why you're living paycheck to paycheck. You're living in apartments that are trying to impress other people that don't give a fuck about you. That's why you're living paycheck to paycheck in America. It's hard for me to get you to understand that 40 hours a week ain't full time no more. 60 hours a week is the new full time. And if you're not getting on that wagon, you're behind and you're going to be behind. The middle class has perfected a certain art. And you know what that art's called? It's called the art of labor. We teach our children a very specific, noble, but uh, I would think ultimately limited form of work ethic. And that is show up on time, do what you're told, be a good employee, wait for the raise. Now, am I cooking or not? Show up on time, do what you're told, be a good employee, wait for the raise. That is what that is the limited form of work ethic that we're taught. And these we fetishize that struggle. We wear our exhaustion like a badge of honor, and we teach our children that the path to wealth is a linear line drawn by somebody else. But look, like I know a lot of you guys aren't around these people. I am. So if you look at the dinner tables of the people that are ultra wealthy within the country, what do you think the conversations are being had there? Like, what do you think the conversations that they're having are? They're damn sure not talking about being a good employee. I can tell you that. Okay, little guy said business. Absolutely. But they're not teaching being. They're not teaching that. They're not teaching being a good employee. They're talking about leverage. They're talking about ownership. They're talking about like capital allocation. That's what they're talking about. You guys are stuck around your fucking dinner tables arguing about stupid shit and talking about who you're gonna vote for and who voted for who and who's on what side and all this other bullshit. Right? The great failure of the middle class is that we are obsessed with income while the wealthy are obsessed with assets. That's the key there. We don't understand the difference. And I'm trying to help you. But you guys are so worried about being class clowns up here that you're taking the help from other people that actually want it. Okay. We spent 40 years trying to increase our fucking salary that's taxed at the highest and disappears the moment that we stop working. The wealthy spend 40 years acquiring things that pay them money, equity, real estate, intellectual property, businesses, right? We teach our children to be cogs in the machine, and we teach the machine, we teach their children to own the machine, right? That is what wealthy individuals are doing. They're teaching their children to own the machine and not run the machine. Your children are going to run the machine until you understand that you cannot work your way, like working your way in order to these metrics is not what you think it is. It's not the people that are out here working and busting their ass every day, putting shingles on roofs and building homes and pouring concrete and maintaining the roads and the sewers and the electrical grid. Like, it's not those people. It's the people that built those machines that are actually building wealth within the country. They buy things that work their way to freedom. They don't work their way to freedom on their own. You can only own your way to freedom. You can't work your way to freedom. You have to own their way to freedom. You're going to remain trapped in this gravitational pull of mediocrity if you decide that you're going to work your way to freedom. We I think we also need to talk about like laziness of the mind too. Like, I'm not talking about physical laziness. Like, God knows the middle class works until the back breaks, man. Like, Americans are hard workers. We know that. I'm talking about the intellectual complacency that we have, and we've allowed ourselves to be financially illiterate, and you guys don't really care about that. We understand how to watch football. We understand how to like understand the plot of a Netflix series. But we don't understand how the tax code works. We don't understand the difference between liabilities and assets. We don't understand how to read the balance sheets. And then we complain that the game is rigged, but we were never playing the game to fucking begin with. Hadn't even read the rule book to the damn game. We don't even know how to play it. The wealthy pass down the knowledge first and then the money second. They teach their children how to govern wealth and how to protect it, how to multiply it. The middle class, they pass down debt and silence. That's pretty much it. They treat money like a tattoo subject. Or I'm sorry, I'm not a tattoo subject. What the fuck? A taboo subject. Something like that polite people don't discuss. Like when they told you, like, oh, don't talk about money. When somebody asks you about money, it's not polite to talk about money. Do you think wealthy individuals are following that? Of course not. They talk about money all the time. So, since we're passing down debt in silence, in that silence, we doom the next generation to make this exact same mistakes that we made. And that's not the fault of the rich, that's a failure of the home. Okay? So, like, how do we break that cycle? Like, how do we stop, like, shouting at the mountain and start actually climbing the mountain? There's a lot of different ways to do it. I mean, the first thing that you need to do overall is divorce your identity from your job title. Okay? And I thought about this for a minute before I came up here and talked about it. And you guys tell me if I'm crazy or not. Divorce your identity from your job title. You are not an accountant or a driver or a manager, right? Become a business of one. You must begin to view your labor not as a duty, but as a product that you sell to the highest bidder. And while you bid your real, like while you're building your real empire on the side, right? That's why I told you guys to work 60 hours a week, work the full-time job 40 hours and then get the part-time job 20 hours so that you can use the money from the 20 hours to get into the certifications to get you a $60,000 to $70,000 a year job. So you're building a real empire on the side. You got to become a skill stacker. The economy doesn't reward doing one thing well anymore. That's when people come up here. When people come up here and they're like, well, why do you have so many businesses? The economy doesn't reward people doing one thing well anymore. It rewards intersection of skills. The person who is just a writer is starving in the country. The person who is a writer and understands digital marketing and understands AI, now that's a dangerous motherfucker. That person is wealthy. You don't need a degree from Harvard to learn these things, guys. Like, the library is fucking free. The internet is the greatest university in human history. Ignorance is a choice now. It's a choice. Seriously. Get the likes up. The second thing is, I want you guys to shift from a consumer mindset into an investor mindset. The middle class is addicted to looking rich. And remember, looking rich. They buy depreciating assets like cars, clothes, little gadgets. They use that to signal status to people who really don't give a fuck. The wealthy are buying appreciating assets that look boring on the surface, but they're building a fortress of security underneath it. Stop buying liabilities. Stop buying houses when you don't have assets to pay for the house. Stop buying free, like bro, buy freedom instead. Even if it's $50 a month into an index fund, you're buying a piece of the American corporate engine rather than just fueling the American corporate engine. How much sense does it make for you to go and work for a corporation and put all your time and energy into this corporation and you're not getting anything out of it? You're not getting anything out of it. And all you have to do is put some money into an index fund in order to get something out of it. America is one of the few countries in the world where anybody can get profits within the corporation. All you got to do is get into the stock market. And the crazy thing is, they made it easy for you because they took the top 500 companies in America and put them all into one index fund, so you don't even have to worry about it. So shift from a consumer mindset to an investor mindset. Okay. The third thing, this is the hardest thing, in my opinion. You got to kill that victim inside of you. That's like the first phase that I'm talking about here. That's what I do up here. I'm trying to annihilate the victim that is inside of you. The system is flawed. Capitalism is a real thing. But waiting for the waiting for the government to fix it, that's a retirement plan that ends in poverty every single time, man. You do have agency, you do have a mind, you have the ability to solve problems. You can do these things. You can do these things. The wealthiest people in the country aren't paid for their time, they're paid for the magnitude of the problems that they solve. So ask yourself, what problem do you solve? This is marketing 101. And you guys are always worried about the wrong thing. Fucking rail in the chat asking what my annual income is. Why does it fucking matter? If I was working at fucking McDonald's and I was making $30,000 a year, it still doesn't change the fact that what I'm saying is absolutely fucking true. Y'all are worried about the wrong things. I have to come, like, in order for you guys to actually listen to what I'm saying, I'd have to come up here with fucking luxury cars behind me, a big ass fucking house, and a bunch of shit that you guys really, like, you pretend to fucking care about, you really don't give a fuck about. You don't give a fuck about it. If you're not willing to take the information because somebody makes less than you do, then you're not a fucking leader. You don't want to learn from anybody. You walk past wealthy people every day. You walk past millionaires every day in the country. And you don't even know that they're millionaires. It doesn't matter how much money somebody makes. Learn how to listen and learn from people. Learn how to listen and learn from people no matter what their status is, because you could actually learn a lot, especially you guys. Y'all don't know enough to be asking somebody for fucking qualifications on what they do. You don't know a damn thing. Nothing. Mods, go ahead and start inviting people up. Please.
Well, well, well. I'm happy you sent me an invite.
I don't send people invites.
Oh, well, maybe your mod did.
It's probably because of what you said in the chat, man. How old are you? What do you do for a living?
I'm 33. and I'm a general manager. I mean, I have a master's in economics, and my
GM,
bachelor.
baby.
Yes, and my bachelor's is in business.
All right, you're not really gonna get far with that with me. But so what do you have to say on the topic? Stop blaming the rich for the failures and laziness of the middle class.
Um, you know, it's typical classism. That's just generally what I believe.
Okay,
I mean, as long as
Can
we're,
you
as
expand
long
on
as
that a little
yeah,
bit?
as long as the people who have less are fighting over other people who have less, and the people who have more are stepping back and watching them fight, it's never going to stop. The cycle is never going to end. So like us people saying that people who are rich, right? It's not as if like most people who are billionaires and millionaires pulled themselves up by their bootstraps. I did a study in college, and this was back in 2016, so this is a little dated, but it's still anecdotal. Approximately 68% of millionaires were people who already had money, right? So the upward trajectory of people who are coming from the bottom 15% of income is extremely hard to get there, right? Unless you go into have an extreme talent, like a really good singer, really smart, and be able to patent your own ideas, a good athlete, right, or just someone who comes into money for whatever reason. It's hard for upper mobility. So I don't necessarily blame it on the laziness of middle class. I think the middle class has been gutted by some of the policies over the last 36 years, since 1972. At post civil rights movement, they basically shipped off a lot of the manufacturing jobs and a lot of those independent jobs that people could live a sustainable middle class living wage. So I don't necessarily blame it on explicitly the rich, but I do think the rich have used their power and their money and influence to lobby politicians to make them wealthier, and all while gutting the middle class. And I land my plane.
60% of millionaires and billionaires are not self-made. They got it from their parents or they got it from inheritance money.
So the study I did was 63% at the time of millionaires in America got their funding for their independent careers from their parents or family who already had money. That was a study I did when I was in college.
What was the average amount of funding that they received?
At the time, the study was more so from things that have been post pre 2012 because you have to have so many years of data to kind of find that funding. At the time, it was usually anywhere between quarter million and $500,000 to start.
60% of the millionaires and
63.
billionaires, oh, I'm sorry, 63% of the millionaires and billionaires within the country got on average a quarter to a $500,000 in order to start what they did.
Based on a study that I had completed. Yeah,
What's the average income of a millionaire in the United States?
I don't know that off the top of my head. Again, my study was from 2016.
What does a millionaire mean?
So a millionaire is considered someone who has an annual income of 1.1 to 2.3 million dollars. A multi-millionaire is someone who has 2.3 million dollars all the way up to a billion.
You said annual income. That's not what a millionaire is.
Okay, that's your opinion. Do you have the facts to prove it?
Nope, it's just a fact. I could pull it up for you if you like.
Yeah, you can.
Okay. A millionaire is generally defined as a person with a net worth of at least 1 million units of currency, calculated as assets minus liabilities.
Yeah, and those assets means that they can pull it to liquid cash. So you can have a $1.5 million house and be worth $1.5 million, right? That doesn't necessarily mean you have $1.5 million in the bank. That means you have tangible assets that
So
make you wealthy.
if I have assets that equal out to over a million, I'm not a millionaire unless I have it in the bank.
No, you do.
Oh, so why'd you say annual income?
Again, it's just a rough estimate. We're not gonna get caught up on
Well,
the minutia of
we
what a
both know that
definition of
millionaires
millionaire.
defined in net worth, and that's assets minus liability.
If that's your call, if that's what you believe. I'm not going to argue with you over that. I mean, I'm not going to get caught on this on. I'm not going to. That's not the hill I
I
want to
mean, if
die
you
on.
want to
You know what I
debate, then
mean?
you're gonna have to argue it, bro. Like, I mean, that's it. Like
Okay,
if you're gonna come up here and you're gonna
how
say
about
that,
how about this?
and I know that the average millionaire within the country is earning $74,000 a year, then what you just said is false.
Okay, well, let's go point for no excuses. How about that? You got the point. What's next?
Okay, great. So the next point that I would make is, what can we do as individuals within the country that are doing better off than most people? What can we do in order to teach the individuals
Real
within the
quick,
country?
I'm not trying to cut you off. My wife is gonna call in the next 5 or 10 minutes because she's getting off work. We do it every night. So if I go blank, it's because she's calling. Just FYI. But yeah, sorry. Go ahead. Continue.
What can we do as individuals that are doing better than most in the United States in order to teach middle class individuals within the United States how they can have better lives in the country?
I think individually, I have a good friend group, right? I think you have to reach one, teach one. All my friends, fortunately for me, all have either bachelor's or master's degree and are either working in high end jobs or have a income more than six figures, right? So I've aligned myself with people who want to do better and who won't meddle in the excuses, right? For those people who don't, right, I think that they can go to some of the free symposiums that they have. They have things that go on from, different colleges and things of that nature. Start a community college, work your way up. I don't know none of my friends who have a bachelor's or master's or make less than $65,000 a year. Right. I have two friends that have a doctorate, so they make well over $185,000 a year. My wife makes over $170,000 a year. She's a doctor of pharmacy, right? And I think it starts with education. I think getting a STEM, science, technology, energy, and math degree, master's or bachelor's, is a good start. And then also having some financial literacy is also very important. Stay out of credit card debt.
Mhm.
That's my pitch.
Let me give you what mine is. Because we both know that most people in the country are living paycheck to paycheck. It's about 80% right now. That means people's liabilities and their uh, costs within life are pretty much outpacing what they earn, right? And
Uh huh.
these are individuals within the country that can't go get a STEM degree because they don't have the money to do so, right? You can't say stay out of debt and then also say go into debt by going to college. So what I propose to them is they're already working their 40-hour a week job because we understand that most people in the country are working,
Uh huh.
right? So I propose to them to go and get a part-time job working an extra 20 hours a week for 3 to 6 months and use that part-time job income in order to pay for certifications within the country that pay $60 to $70,000 entry level starting out. I help them fix their resumes. I help them get these jobs. I give them the resources and the information and the knowledge in order to go into the marketplace and succeed. And I also teach them about retiring millionaires within the United States because that's my goal. I want to raise the amount of millionaires within the United States from 12% to 30%.
Hmm.
That
I
so teaching them about these accounts, teaching them about 401ks, the S&P 500, teaching them about real estate and things like that. That
uh
is
huh.
what's going to be able to help the middle class more than anything, and that is what the middle class has been missing for these past couple of generations that they have not been learning.
Okay. I'm going to counter, not 100%, but 40% counter that argument. I do agree that people getting in the workforce and working two jobs can absolutely help with people raising their income level. I think the best thing that I go back when I did my study, of course, I was 2016, so the economy was booming at that time, right? So the economy was growing, so there was more opportunities for higher salary, there was more opportunities for salary negotiations, bonuses, things of the nature, stock options, depending on what your level is, coming into that company. Unfortunately, for the last 6.5 to 7 months, the economy has been contracting. We're going towards a recession, which means there's less jobs. It means that there's less opportunities. And most people who do not have a high skill set, meaning that they're not like in engineering or they're not working on the gas lines, stuff like that, if they don't have a bachelor's or master's with something along the lines of STEM or something along the lines of like business management or financial analytics, something like that, it is extremely hard for them to demand 60, 70, 80, $90,000 in income, right now because of where we're currently going. So I do agree that yes, getting another 20, 30 hours a week will absolutely help in investing that in, like you said, in the S&P 500 stocks and bonds and things of nature. Cool. But if you don't have that opportunity to make a livable wage, because the economy is contracting, then it does present some barriers. The other thing I would say is that I do think that I'm fortunate enough to have a dual income household. Me and my fiance both, my wife, excuse me, both work. We both make very good money for ourselves. Some people are single income household and have children, which is not only one of the barriers but two of the barriers because you don't have another person to watch the children and you also don't have another person bringing in income. So when it comes to working 40 to 50 hours a week at one job, plus another 15 to 20 on the part-time job, that becomes very hard when you have to think about daycare and other things of that nature. Again, I'm not giving an excuse. I'm just giving another point of perspective.
Well, I mean, if you decide that you're going to go ahead and spread your legs or pull your pants down and have babies that you can't afford, then that's the consequence of being irresponsible. I can't control that. All I can do is tell you, hey, don't be
Well,
irresponsible. This is how you
what
be
are we
responsible
talking?
within the country.
But what about people who have children who get divorces? What about people who have
Well,
children
are
who
you
get raped,
supposed to? I mean, again, there's
or if the R word?
consequences. There's consequences to getting divorces, correct? Most men within the country aren't sitting around beating their wife like all the time. These people are getting divorces because of
It's
irreconcilable differences when it comes to money.
That's not 100%. That's not monolithic. You
I didn't
can't make
say
that
I didn't say
assessment.
100%. I said most people. So that constitutes
So
51 or
what about,
above.
okay, so let's say it's 80-20. What about the 20% that don't have that situation for them? Then what? Is it just
Well, I
no
mean
longer
that
no
means
more there?
that means it's going to be harder for you, but that doesn't mean that it's unattainable for you.
Do
Because
you
I
know how
mean,
much?
so like let's say somebody's a single parent
So
and they have
yes,
children. Let's say that
you have
somebody's a
children?
single. Let's say somebody's a single parent and they have children,
Okay.
and they can't work that extra 20 hours, right? In order
Well,
to
they could and pay expensive daycare.
okay, but I'm just saying they couldn't, right? Let's just say they can't.
Okay, cool.
Let's say they
Let's
can't
continue.
work the extra 20 hours. Okay.
Uh-huh.
I would tell them you need to cut out some expenses within your life, sell something. Maybe you got a blender in your house, you like make some sacrifices so that you can pay for the certifications that you can do at home online, right? So like
But
there are certifications that you can do online that you don't have to go to classes for that also can get you in a job making 60, $70,000 a year entry level as well.
so let me
So,
ask you a question, if you don't mind.
mhm.
What you're doing right now, do you plan on in the future making money from doing, let's say you're a podcaster, let's say this is your podcast. Do you plan on doing this from your house or apartment or an office building, whatever it is, to make revenue? Do you
I'll do
would
it
you
now.
Yeah, okay. So you make revenue.
I consult with businesses and employees and teach
Okay,
this stuff.
so are you aware that from 2020 when COVID happened to 2023, maybe early 2024, a lot of companies had the hybrid model, which allowed for some families, especially single parent incomes, single parent houses, to save thousands of dollars in childcare services because they were able to stay home with their children and be able to put money into the bank,
Mhm.
right? What's happening now is a lot of those companies are forcing people back into the office,
Mhm.
where if they had an opportunity to work at home and save money on daycare, they can't do that now because companies are forcing them back in because a lot of these companies are owned by 4 to 5 of the big conglomerate uh, companies that own everything, like BlackRock and all these other big companies, right? And they're like, well, people aren't going traveling, they're not going to the office. We have all these buildings just being empty because people aren't coming to work. Force people back to work. Now, the
Yeah.
other thing I wanted to put you up is like, I don't have children, but I have two godkids. My frat brother lives less than 40 minutes away from me. Probably back in early October before we went home for homecoming, I asked him, hey, dude, I know everyone's like kids and expensive. I said, how much are you paying a month in after school care for his children? They only go to school out after school for 3 days a week, not even 5 days, only 3 days, right? They are paying between both of their children $2,100 a month. And this is in Houston, Texas. Now, Houston, Texas is a red state, right? Now, no, sorry, Houston's a blue city, but in a red state, right? So you have a little balance there. You have some suburbies that are a little more expensive than others. The cheapest that I have a friend that works with me at the hospital, she gets discounts from the government. She's paying about $1,500 a month with discounts from the government, right, to help compensate for her losses, right, with having to work two separate jobs. But that's because she's low income, so the government kind of steps in a little bit and helps subsidize some of that stuff, right? So I think that some of those things are good, but there is also a reality that some people don't have those same opportunities. And again, I'm not giving an excuse. Again, I'm just giving that there's someone out here who has done things the right way, who may have been married, who may have had a good situation. Maybe they lost their spouse. Maybe their spouse cheated on them. Maybe that person was someone who beat them. Maybe that person was someone who stepped out multiple times and decided to go a different route and decided to go home and say, look, I'm going to take care of me and my son or daughter by myself. And now it's harder for them.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying it's an excuse for them. I'm not saying we should feel sorry for them, but it is just people out there who are like that. That's all.
Well, what I would say, right, is people getting into this stuff earlier is always going to be a benefit to them, right? Getting
Uh-huh.
into real estate earlier and getting into these certification courses and getting these jobs a lot sooner than normal is always going to be a benefit for them. So the sooner that you get into it, the better. But the individuals within the country that if they have something happen to them and they have to, pay that amount of money in child care. With two
Mhm.
people working, you had to know that there's going to be some child care costs that were associated with that.
Of course, yeah,
So that's a problem of people not being able to budget and understanding what they can afford versus what they can't afford. Now, your frat brother might be able to afford it just fine, but the regular individuals within the country can't afford it just fine. So,
yeah,
I
and that's
mean,
and the thing about it is, even with like you're kind of hitting on my point. Even with my frat brother he's in project management, and his wife is a nurse practitioner. I don't know if she's a nurse practitioner, but she's high up on the totem pole in the nursing realm, right? So they
I think I think he got that call.
yeah, I can't hear him anymore. Interesting. Um,
Well,
Church
well,
Gate, go ahead.
I wanted to say that I work for a state agency, and I've never heard anybody ever blame the rich for their failures. Ever,
Ever?
ever. And let me tell you why. Let me tell you why.
Stay up here long
Because
enough, you'll hear it.
they're too busy working and trying to provide for their family, and they're in their own circle, trying to do the best that they can to get ahead in life.
So you've
They don't
never heard
have
anybody say, if we just tax the rich more and the wealth is distributed equally among the country, then our lives will be better. You never heard anybody say that.
no. Why would they? What reason do they have to say that? What reason? What reason do they have?
You've
Now,
never,
mind
you're
you,
being honest, right? Like you're not
I'm
shitting
being,
me.
I'm being, I'm being very honest. And you want to know
sorry,
why? Because the
You're in
misconceptions.
a bubble, bro. Like
Nope, not in a
it's,
bubble.
no, you
I'll even
definitely
tell you the
are.
state I'm in. I'm in a red state.
That's fine. You're still in
So,
a bubble.
no, definitely not a bubble. I work with the public, and I work with hundreds of people monthly. So I'll tell you. So I'll tell you that I've never heard them make those type of excuses. That is a stereotype that you're pushing. So now, tell me the type of circle that you're in that would make that be something you're hearing.
Dude, I have this show every single morning. They say it all the time. I've talked to thousands of people. They say it all the time. People like guys in the chat that watch my show regularly. Put a one in the chat if you ever heard somebody come up here and blame the rich for the reason why their life isn't going the way they wanted to go. Like, I mean, dude, it happens
Do
all
they
the
even?
time.
First of all, here's the question: do they even know a person that's rich per se? And what is your definition of rich?
Well, it's not my definition of rich. I don't know
Well,
if they
just in
know.
general, what
I
is
don't
your
know if they
definition?
personally know a rich person or not. But that's part of the problem to me. These
Why?
people, these people complain about millionaires without even knowing what millionaire means. Like they're
It,
like,
it
hey,
doesn't matter.
tax the millionaires, tax the billionaires. Yeah, but like they think it's them making billions of dollars a year in income. They think it's them making millions of dollars a year in income, and it's not that. It has to do with assets and liabilities. How are you going to tax something that isn't income? Oh, well, they're still making a lot more money, so we'll just tax that. And it's like, okay, but a lot of their money is in stock options. These CEOs and stuff like that, their money's in stock options. So you can't tax something that isn't a gain yet. It's not a gain. Then their argument kind of falls apart and they start getting a little unruly because I'm challenging the worldview with actual like factual information. Now, as far as rich is concerned, right? Millionaires within the country are wealthy individuals, right? Those are wealthy individuals typically, millionaires within the country. Billionaires within the country are typically wealthy and rich individuals, okay? Now, when we're talking about rich, you're typically talking about income, okay? And when you're talking about wealthy, you're typically talking about assets. So if you're asking for my definition of rich versus wealthy, a rich person would be somebody that is making significantly more money. They're in the top, 1%, or maybe even if I were to say the top 5% within the country, most middle class people would consider them to be rich people. But a
Okay.
wealthy individual is
So
somebody that has assets that equal out to over $1 million within the country. That is
the
somebody that is a
question.
wealthy individual.
So how does that trickle down to? How does that affect the person working at Amazon, working night shift?
It doesn't.
How does that? How does it doesn't right?
Yeah.
They don't got any correlation between
That's
the.
that.
They don't
Thank you.
even
That's my point.
know. So they don't have no time to say you. Nobody can call that person working at Amazon lazy because they don't even.
Sure, I can.
They don't.
Oh my
How
God.
so?
Sure, I can because they don't know the
How
things
so?
they need to. Like, the point of working is to pay your bills now and retire later. That's the point.
That's the point.
The
Do you
point of
not?
working
Do
isn't
you
to work
think
every
that
day
the
for the rest
cost
of your
of
life
living?
until you die. Like that,
Hold on.
nobody wants to fucking do that.
Who sold you that bill of goods?
Who sold me what? That the point of
Who
working is
sold
to
you that
retire
bill of goods?
later?
Okay, who sold? You're in a capitalist society, so who sold you that bill of goods?
That are you talking about work? Not the point of working is to
Okay,
retire later on. Is that what you're
follow
talking
me.
about?
So follow me.
No, no, no,
Now,
no,
do
no.
you
I'm
put
not.
up?
No, no, bro. You asked me a question. I'm trying to understand the question you're
Yes.
asking me.
Okay.
Are you saying who sold me the bill of goods that the point of working is to pay your bills now
Yes.
and retire later on?
Yes.
Who sold me that bill of goods? That is a crazy question. So
Okay. So let me try another way.
I would say that my the people that are within my life as well as my father and my mother told me that the reason why you work is to be able to provide for your family now and be able to invest enough money so that you can live the life you want to live later, right?
Okay. If that person was an entrepreneur versus maybe the job that they did, do you think they would have gave you that same advice?
My father's an entrepreneur, my mother is a corporate woman.
Okay. So do you think your dad would say, "Hey, I'm working to be my own boss so I can retire later," or am I working so I can or so I don't ever have to stop working? He might love his job so much he don't ever want to stop.
Yeah, but those are entrepreneurs, right? But my father, my father told me this before I was an entrepreneur. Now, okay, my father told me this while I was still an employee, and he was trying to teach me the value of investing my money, right? But when we're talking about the most people in the country that are W-2 employees, these people don't just love their fucking jobs. They don't.
Okay, so are you saying that the world doesn't have enough entrepreneurs, or are you saying the world needs more, or are we saying we need more workers? Because here's
I think that it's good for people to start businesses because I always encourage ownership here. I never will. You're not going to hear me say that everybody can't have a business because the truth is everybody could have a business. They're just not going to be able to scale it to the point that a lot of these corporations are. But everybody could have a business, absolutely.
but if everyone's an owner, right, then there's no one working, right?
Right, but
The way
so
capitalism works, right?
realistically, everybody isn't going to have a business because A, they don't want to have one, B, they don't know how to run a business, and C, we need workers within the country. So our school system is pushing people towards being workers. They're not pushing people towards being business
Wow.
owners.
And I wonder which great billionaire was it that revamped the entire education system back
The
in the
Rockefellers.
1800s? Okay, so why do you think that they pushed for people to become workers and made the
Well,
education
because
system
that's
like
how
that?
that because
Because capitalism is
having a country
greed.
full of dude. Knock it
It's
off with the greed
dude,
shit.
no.
You can't
Carnegie
even
and
say that.
Rockefeller,
You can't say that it's
they don't
greed.
want the next Carnegie or Rockefeller to come up. It works as long
Yes,
as
because
they
they
are
need
able.
workers. That's that. Like we understand that, man. You're not speaking a
Dude,
different
but
language up here. We
okay,
understand that.
so for those people who are workers, for those people who I don't want to go to college for 6 or 8 years to be a doctor or lawyer. I want to go work at Ford factory, do my 20 to 25 years, retire at 55, and live out my rest of my days. Right?
And that's possible.
There is only about 2 to maybe 3 generations of Americans post the Great Depression that were able to fulfill that great American dream. Right? Statistically now it is extremely hard for they're even at the Congress level. They tried to push back the retirement age to 70. Companies don't do pensions anymore.
That's correct.
Companies don't give stock options anymore.
That's
Companies don't
correct.
even do look. I started with Airmark, which is a food service company in
I know what
2016.
Aramark is.
When I started with Airmark, if you were band 7, which is direct level up, you got bonuses. By the time I became a director at 2020, right before 2019, right before COVID, it was the year before in 2018. They said, "Oh no, we're pushing up to band 6, which is like direct operations and general manager." Okay, boom. So then I moved to direct operations in 2023. Oh wait, we pushed up to band 5, which is additional level manager. I'm like, so within 6 years, the opportunity for me to make, and I'm gonna give you the statistical facts. So the base bonus level for Airmark of you were a band 7 was 8 to 12%. So if you met your metrics, your KPIs, 8 to 12% based on how well you did was your bonuses of your salary. Plus a couple little ticks here and there. If you were band 6, it was 15 to 20% base salary if you met your ticks. So you washed out thousands of jobs, thousands of bonuses. Do you know what that money could have done for my credit card debt, for my putting money towards my wedding, putting money towards down payment? And that's just within the last 7 years, right? Not to mention the cost of living of a house, right? I left Houston, Texas in 2018. I live in Cypress, Texas. The average housing price back then was $235,000 in 2018. Do you know what the average house now in Cypress, Texas is now? $390,000. That's almost a 70% increase in home value in less than 10 years. The cost of living is crushing Americans, the middle class especially. The inflation is killing us. Interest rates are killing us, right? And everyone now is, again, I work in sales, so I'm seeing the numbers come in. We could give $3,000 to $5,000 off cars, and they're like, okay, you're still giving us a $30,000 car at a $50,000 price, and you're taking $5,000 off it, and think we're gonna fucking bite the bait. We're not going for it anymore because hyper capitalism keeps telling us we have to continue to push the needle no matter what. Now, I'm going to get off my soapbox and I'm going to go to a theory. Here's my theory.
Oh, damn. You're going to keep going? I don't get to respond to what you said?
My fault. Okay, yeah, I'll land my plane. Go ahead. My bad.
Damn, land that shit, nigga.
Shut up, Dylan. That's my brother. That's my actual brother right there.
So listen, bro. I understand what you're saying. I mean, that sucks. But like especially when it comes to housing, I talk about this all the time up here, and I said it in the beginning of the monologue. America doesn't reward you just doing one thing anymore. You were doing one thing for a company. That's what you were doing. So right now, America rewards you doing a multitude of different things in order to make money, and they don't all require you in order to go into work and clock in and do all this other stuff, right? So I don't want you guys, like, you're talking about housing. I don't care what the housing price is. I don't want you guys to buy houses anyway. Not as it stands right now. You guys are trying to buy houses on one person's income, or on two people's income, and use the income that you make at your job in order to pay for your mortgage. I don't want you guys doing that. I want you guys being able to use assets that you have accrued and delay gratification instead of going out and buying a house because y'all, for whatever reason, y'all want to buy houses so damn bad. Instead of you guys going out and buying houses, I want you guys getting into real estate and let your real estate pay for the mortgage that you want. And then use the money from your full-time job in order to get into investments that can actually push generational wealth within your families. That's what I want you guys to do. That's what I teach up here.
But if you, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead, Church. Go ahead, Church.
But if you're pushing that narrative, why you got this thing that say people in the middle class are lazy?
Because they don't know the things that they need to do within the United States in order to build generational wealth and make their lives better, and they're not willing to get the information either.
But I get a lot of people.
Hold on, wait a second. You can't. I respect your opinion, but you can't say that you want people to build generational wealth without understanding that real estate, whether that's commercial, whether that's our family like houses, or commercial like buildings and restaurants and warehouses, stuff like that. If you can't say that, if you can't acknowledge that one of the easiest ways to do that is to actually own outright your land or house. Like
no, that's not true.
That's not true. Yeah, houses aren't assets that are paying you money. They're taking money away from your bank account. Houses are liabilities.
Okay, hold on. So my grandfather bought his house in PG County, Maryland in 1971 for $19,000. That house now is worth just under $700,000. My family sold it within the last 3 to 4 months. They got around some of the capital gains tax, depending on some stuff they were able to do from the taxes they were able to utilize.
Fact check. The house ain't sold yet. The house ain't sold yet, Drill. My bad. Go ahead.
Check with LG.
That's not sold.
Anyway, his point is that the house is going to get sold for significantly more than they paid for it. That's
exactly. So that's wealth accumulation that can be
it's the house. Hey, let me ask you something, bro. If I buy a $450,000 house, right? If I have a $450,000 house that I buy and get a mortgage for on a 6% interest rate, how much am I paying over the lifetime of that loan?
I don't have the calculator right in front of me.
It's over $1 million. Okay. It's like $1,060,000 that I'm paying over the lifetime of that loan. Now, what do you think it would have been like if your parents bought that house that they said, and they also had 3 multifamily properties that had 4 doors apiece, and they were getting revenue from that as well? They could sell that. Hold on. What's with the interruptions? What's with the interruptions? Whoa. Just listen to me, bro. I'm asking. What would it be better if they had the 3 other multifamily properties, or would it be worse?
Let me answer the question.
Hey,
In
bro,
order
this is
to
a yes or
buy-
no
listen,
question,
it's
you
not,
know?
because you have to have money to buy those 3 houses.
Oh, how much? How much? How much? No. How much? How much? How much? How much money do you have to have? How much money do you have to have, bro?
So the money that was accumulated from the wealth that was passed down from my grandparents now is in my parents and uncles and aunts and them. So now they can accumulate that wealth and decide to buy a 3 or 4 apartment condo or whatever it is to be to start to create. You have
And
to.
they're probably
have
gonna
money.
try to buy it. They're probably gonna try to buy it cash because they don't understand how money works. Listen, bro.
No, that's not correct.
Hold on.
Listen.
Listen. Okay, how much money do you think it's easier to get a $350,000 single family home? Hold on. Do you think it's easier to get a $350,000 single family home or a $500,000 multifamily
It
property?
all depends on your credit and all depends on your credit history.
Not at all.
You can listen, it does. You can sit here and go.
That's actually not true.
Hold on.
That's
Let me
not
ask
true
you
at
a
all.
question. Are you
Not at all.
telling
That's
me?
not true.
Listen to me. Are you telling me you would rather have $500,000 in the bank and an 820 credit score, right? 500 cash in the bank and an 820 credit score, or $1 million in the bank and a 525 credit score?
I'd rather have $1 million in the bank and a 525. Yeah.
You're
Absolutely.
crazy as hell. That's stupid as fuck.
No. Hey, bro. I just understand money a little bit.
No,
People that have that amount of
you don't understand
liquid,
credit.
people of that have that amount of liquid cash inside of their accounts, they don't really have to worry about credit like that. But
No,
I understand. I understand. Hold
Credit.
on, bro. Hold on. I understand what you're trying to get at, though. Even though, like, the situation you presented, that's what I would do. But I do understand what you're trying to get at, right? You're saying credit's important, and I'm not saying credit's not important, right? But it is easier for anybody within the country to get into a multifamily property that's $500,000 than it is for them to get into any single family property in the country. And the reason for that is how they qualify you through the underwriting process of the loan. So with your single family home, they're just going off of your income, Rel. That's all they're going off of. They're going off of how much money you make per year. With a multifamily home that's occupied, right? Because people need places to live. They're going off of the income that you make, and they're also adding the amount of money that the tenants generate, 75% of the revenue of the property to the loan as well. As qualified income.
Correct. So my uncle does this. Do you know how much money you have to have in the bank or a credit score, right, in order to qualify for that?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so please inform us as to what that dollar
So
amount
with an FHA loan, you need to have 3 months of principal, taxes, and insurance for the property that you get into. With a $500,000 property, that's about $10,500. Okay. You also need to have 3.5% down in a credit score that is above a 600 in order to qualify for the 3.5% down. If it's under 625, if it's under a 620 credit score, then you have to put 10% down on the property. But if it's a VA loan, you have to have 6 months of principal, taxes, and insurance inside of an account for a $500,000 property.
Facts.
So
Big fact.
that's how it works.
Okay, sounds good.
You're missing one, if I can jump in. There is a such thing as called DSCR when you don't need any.
Well, I'm talking about FHA. I'm just
talking.
talking about FHA and VA. I just gave 2 examples just to prove to him that I do know what
No,
I'm
I
talking
was
about.
agreeing with
But go
you.
ahead.
I was just letting. Yeah.
Hey, look, if
I'll just let you know you
if
need
there's
it.
a nugget out there that I am missing, by all means, please let
You're
me
missing
know.
this one, I promise you.
No,
It is
I
easier for
listen.
you to get into a multifamily than it is for you to get into a single home.
Trust me,
Guaranteed.
my ears are up now because I believe there's more than one way to skin a cat. I'm country. I don't know it all, so please put me on game.
No shit.
Shut up, Jalen.
I can tell you a little bit about it. Say for instance, you hear things about house hacking or getting duplexes, 1 to 4 units, etc. They don't use your personal information at all. They let the leases stand on its own. And so if you can show that the lease can pay the mortgage, they don't ask you for any bank statements or anything. Your credit score doesn't matter.
And also, they also took the credit score requirement away for a lot of these, believe it or not. Like, that's in the works right now.
Absolutely.
For FHA, the
But-
credit score requirement is now a
but-
non-issue.
How does the zoning and things go into play? So, like, we understand that certain areas have certain different requirements based on how they're zoned.
Yeah. So
Right,
like you
doesn't
got
matter.
you got commercial, you got residential, but that doesn't really matter in the terms of qualifying for the loan through the underwriting process. That's what we're talking about.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. All you have to show
But
is that your
listen,
leases
like
can
my
cover the rent.
point was, right? My point was you're trying to make it seem as if having a property is an asset. if I buy a $100,000 property and I sell it for $700,000 later on, how many years has it been since I paid the house? Like since I bought the house, it's been decades. I could have made $700,000. I could have made $700,000, fucking year over year in, multifamily real estate by that time. Like $700,000 can buy me so many multifamily properties.
I understand, but so like how my
I'm
uncle
just
got
saying
into
it's not an asset. It's a liability. Single family homes are a liability. They always have been. They always will be.
But here's the thing.
Hey,
So
question. Hey, question for you, Real. You keep saying your uncle, your grandpa, your auntie, your cousin. Let me ask you a question, brother. What are you investing in? What are you investing in?
I'm invested in stocks, bro.
Yeah. What kind? What kind of stocks? Long term, short term? Enlighten me.
I'm not getting into this shit with you, bro.
As long as you're invested in stocks,
so you can't answer the question.
You can tell me. So what's the S&P 500, Rel?
S&P 500 is basically the 500 biggest companies right now in America.
And it's all funneled into what? What?
I can't remember off the top of my head. I'm sorry.
It's okay. You got the question. You got the question right. It's all funneled into one index, right?
Yeah.
So they made it easy for you. Do you think that the average worker what's the average interest that your money's gonna grow if it's inside of the S&P 500 today?
I feel like it's
about
3.5.
10%. No, 10%.
10%, right? Now, do you think the
This guy
average
gets it.
worker
This guy
within the
gets it.
country, do you think that they even know that?
No, we're not in.
No,
There we go.
but you can't
So
get them.
if
You can't
they-
get them to invest.
But
can't
see,
get them to invest.
I can get them to invest because I'm not being naive and saying, "Hey, man, it doesn't matter how much money you make. Just put your money in there." Like I'm not fucking that. That's so naive. Get them a better job first. Let them understand that they can actually accomplish something. Most of these people haven't accomplished anything since they graduated high school, if they fucking did that, right? Let them learn that they can actually accomplish something. Once they have the money, say, all right, now it's time to teach you. Now it's time to teach you about the investments that I've been telling you about. So opening up, get out of the 401k. Fuck the 401k. Don't fucking worry about the 401k. 401ks are shit. Fuck it. Get a brokerage account. Get a Roth IRA. Right, invest your money into the S&P 500, and then we can teach you about some of the other stocks and when to get in those at different times of the year. Blah blah blah. Right, grow your money, and do the math. Actually do the math to figure out how much money you need to invest month over month in order to reach the amount you need in order to retire. Most people don't even know the amount they need in order to retire in the country. If you want to have $2 million inside of your account by the time that you're 65 years old, if you started at 25 and then you've been investing for 45 years to you're 65, if you put $350 to $400 into the S&P 500 and it grows at the rate that it's been growing on average, you're going to have right at $2 million inside of that account. And then if you invest a little bit lower somewhere, I had to pay for a tire or some shit like that, you're still going to be a millionaire. You're still going to have way over $1 million inside of the account if it's growing at the rate that it's been growing over time. And if you're scared of that, you could always get into mutual funds. There hadn't been a single. When's the last time a mutual fund went bankrupt, Rel? You got a business degree. Did they teach you about that?
Yeah, it was talked about a little bit in accounting class.
When's the last time a mutual fund went bankrupt in the United States?
That was like 10 or 11. That was like 10 or 11 years ago.
You started off by saying you had the degree, so I don't care how long it was.
This guy.
So when's the last time that a mutual fund went bankrupt in the United States?
Can't even remember, brother.
1940.
Way before I was born.
Right. So you can get into mutual funds too. You learn about mutual funds. You can learn about real estate. Hell, you can make $50,000 and get into a $500,000 property. Hell, if you don't have the money, anywhere, fucking anywhere.
Hold on, Dad. I'm calling BS on that.
Word?
You can't make $50,000.
Hey, chat. Should I do it to him?
Into a $500,000 location.
Hey, chat. Should I do it to him?
If that's the case, come move to Cypress, Texas, and we got plenty of $500,000 homes here.
I don't have to do that. I live in Alabama, bro. I got plenty of them.
Alabama, bro. What's the biggest city in Alabama?
Huntsville.
Okay. Alabama, the biggest city in Alabama isn't even the doggone 8th biggest city in Texas. Don't even. You can't compare.
Okay, I don't understand what point you're trying to make there. I can find $500,000 properties in Texas too.
Are you talking about single family homes? Are you
Fuck no, I'm talking about multifamily homes.
Okay, but that's different. That's a different process. We both know that.
What's a different process?
and the way in which you get the money for. You said it's different underwriting. You said that yourself.
Yeah, but the underwriting for the multifamily is a lot easier to get approved for than the underwriting for the single family.
Well, I'm about to go buy some fucking
Duh! That's what I'm trying to get through. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
I was talking about. That's why I was like, you for single family. I'm like, fuck no, they're not going to approve you for $500,000 home if you only making 50 grand.
But I don't, again, bro, I don't want people buying single family homes until they have enough assets that are making money for them month over month to be able to pay for that mortgage and get the house they really want to fucking have. You're not going to be worried about the average house if you have the things that I'm talking about, if you're doing the shit I'm talking about, because you're going to be buying a house that's way above the average. You're going to have the income to do it. All I want you to do is take the money that you make from your multifamily properties, put 50% of it to the side for principal, mortgage, taxes, insurance, maintenance, property management, all that stuff, and take the other 50 and put it inside of the bank and take about 20% of that and put it into investments. And then take some more of the money that's inside of your work, inside of your job money, the money that you get from your fucking job, and also put that in towards investments. Maybe about 5-10% of it into investments. Diversify a little bit, you know. You don't want to put all your eggs in one basket or anything. Maybe start a business, you know, that'd be good too. Go get some skills so you can start a business, a little mobile business. That'd be great.
What are the biggest risks, as someone who's done this before, what are the biggest risks with having these type of properties?
Not understanding how to vet tenants and how to keep tenants.
So have you had tenants that have been like thought were some shit? I mean, some good.
No,
and they turned
you have to teach. Like, again, this isn't a metric that you go out and say, "Hey, go do this," and you just leave them alone. This is a thing where you say, "Hey, go out and do this. I'm going to teach you step by step how to do it so you can succeed and not fail." And I have multi-millionaires that back me on these things, and I have people that fix credit. I got people that work with people on fixing their credit. I got people that work with people on getting them into multifamily real estate. If they need a VA loan, I got a company out in California that helps people get VA loans, that teaches people about investments, that teaches people about business. I have multi-millionaires within the space that back me on these things.
How did you get that backing?
Being on TikTok and talking about it and knowing what I'm talking about.
So TikTok basically paved the way for you to have those million worth backers.
Chat, am I lying or not?
I mean, dude, you know how many bots are out there? You know, I'm not trying to say your chat's lying, but you know what I'm saying. We know.
Yeah, okay. Right. There are bots out there. That's true. The people I'm talking about, are easily verified. Oh no! Oh! One of us about to come up right now. Oh my God! It's perfect timing. Oh my goodness! It's perfect timing. Holy moly! Everybody, welcome Tony Glenn to the channel, guys. You asked and you received. Talk about him and he will appear. Hey, Rel, this is Winstradamus himself. Okay, you've never met anybody that wins more than this guy ever in your life. It'll never happen.
I've met Michael Jordan before, so I don't know.
This guy wins more than Michael. That's the crazy part. This guy wins more than Michael, bro. Michael Jordan or Jackson. This dude win more than them. It's crazy.
I met Kathy's.
It's insane.
Yeah, Michael Jordan actually, you know, I actually inspired him to play basketball. So I was actually, you know, I said, Mike, you should do it. Quit being a little bitch. So he started playing basketball.
That's hilarious.
Bro, all I'm saying is, like, you're probably making really good. You make over 6 figures a year, right?
Yeah.
What you worried about buying a house for, bro? Assets. Assets. Nothing but assets. You got the money already. And then while you're doing it, teach other people to help them get into it. You and your brother, bro, your brother probably making good money too. Y'all could go half and half on a multifamily.
My brother's doing better than me.
I bet. Hey, did you know that? Did you know that you could have 2 people on an FHA loan? Y'all could split it. Only one of you got to live in there for a year. Both of you don't have to.
True.
I ain't gonna lie. My brother owed me $2 right now to this day.
That's crazy.
So
I ain't gonna say nothing though.
So I work for the state. I'm sorry to cut you off. I work for the state. So what do you suggest I do?
I don't know. How much money do you make?
I make a modest 40-some thousand a year.
I suggest that you get some certifications and get into a job that's paying more money first.
Why did he leave?
I don't know.
So you think that I should make more money
and
mess with the fact that I'm secure?
Well,
you want me to risk my security?
Yeah, it's called, bro, yeah, you're gonna have to make some sacrifices. Yeah. But
No, no,
I'm
no, no.
talking about. Sorry, go ahead.
That's not a sacrifice, sir.
Oh, that's
That's
not a
a risk.
sacrifice. Risking your security is
That's
not
a
a sacrifice.
risk.
But you're
Okay,
right.
there's a difference.
Actually, you're right, bro. It's only a sacrifice when you get what you wanted. You're right.
So I actually I have a business that I've
Oh,
never done anything with.
well, what the fuck are we? What's your business then?
I cook barbecue. I started a
Oh
business.
my god! Yeah, that. Do that.
But you want me to? But I'm saying like I don't have any business background, dude.
That's okay, bro.
I
We
have no
teach it
background.
all the time up here. Most people that get into business don't have a business background, but unless you start, you're never going to get where you want to go until you try. You got to try.
So you say, so cook the barbecue, sell the barbecue, right?
Mm-hmm.
And keep working at my job,
Mm-hmm.
right? And then what?
I
I'm
mean,
already
hey,
investing.
let be honest. Be honest, bro. Is your food good?
No. The food
It's
is
not
good.
good. Oh, it is
No,
good.
the food is good. The food is good. I'm not worried. That's why I started the business. Like I have the LLC because the food is good.
Okay. Okay.
But I
Well,
didn't just jump out there because
what's the name of your barbecue? What do you have? Like, do you have a presence? Like, can people find you?
I mean I haven't per se.
What's the
been
name?
advertising
What's the name of your
right now.
business? What's the name of it?
Logan and London's Barbecue.
Logan
LLC.
and London's Barbecue.
Yeah. So
Is London your wife?
No, there's my two daughters.
Oh,
I named it after my daughters. So you've heard of Logan's, the
yeah,
restaurant.
Logan's Roadhouse. Yeah.
Yeah. So I named it after my two daughters.
Awesome. Yeah. Yeah, I would say get into that. You can hit me up. You can hit up Anthony too. I mean, we can help you get it started. We can give you, because we do consultant work. We can help you get started with it. We can teach you about profit margins, break even points, online presence, marketing, social media. We can teach you about structuring it properly. How to structure your, because you got daughters, you might as well go ahead and make your LLC a multi-member LLC, pay both of your daughters $15,000 a year and lower your taxable income. So
I did that.
But see, you did that, but you're also saying that you haven't done anything with it. So how did you do it?
Yeah. So when I set it up like it should be, but I didn't. I was like, okay, let me cap the name because I wanted to keep the name, so I don't want nobody to take the name. And then I was like, but I'm not a businessman, I go.
No. You got to first of all stop saying that. Don't say that.
I made it in history, bro. I made it in history. Mine in secondary ed.
I get it, but you have a business that could grow legs at any point if you actually put the effort into making it grow legs. Don't keep saying, well, I'm not a business owner. I don't have any business acumen. That's like defeatist verbiage. You say, I'm not where I want to be yet, but I'm working there. I'm working towards it. Don't defeat yourself and negotiate yourself out of your own greatness. Like, don't do that. That's gonna defeat you every single time you think about it. Don't do that.
And now I just hang out and do comedy for a while.
Where are you located at?
South Carolina.
Okay. Do they have like events in South Carolina that are pretty big?
Yeah, we have some of the biggest barbecue competitions you ever want to see.
No, you don't want to go to a barbecue competition. That's not where you're going to make money at.
Well, I'm saying just when you say events, yeah, I mean you got the
like you
events.
got a food truck or something, right?
You got to do you got a pickup truck?
No.
Okay, what kind of car do you have?
So I have an SUV. So that's been my thing is like trying to get the money.
Hold on. Just listen, bro. It's okay.
Okay. So do you have what type of pit do you have? Can you pull a pit? How do you smoke your barbecue?
So I have a pit, but not a big one, but I can move it. It's movable.
Okay. So what I would do is I would get a pit on wheels. Okay. I would register with the Chamber of Commerce and do any type of events, bazaars or any type of flea market type stuff, and then I would advertise that way. And then everybody who pulls up, all you need is a piece of paper with a QR code on it. If you like my ribs, smack your mama, okay? And then anybody that comes up and gets the plate, they scan the QR code. That QR code is going to tell a little bit about your business, and they leave you a positive review. So now, if you leave me a positive review, I'm going to give you a free half rack of ribs or whatever. Now you're giving something to get something. So when people come up and scan, now you're going on social media, your barbecue looks good. You know tendernism? Y'all ever heard of that? Y'all ever heard of
Yeah.
tendernism?
Yes.
Okay, that dude is out here. That's not even his barbecue place. He doesn't even own it. So
Really?
tendernism is you can caveat off of that. Do your ribs, say tendernism or whatever. Have people taste your ribs and tag the people who are already got momentum on doing this type of stuff. Now you're becoming the best known barbecue person in the local area. It's not about the barbecue, man. It's about who knows who the barbecue is. You know, you shouldn't be the best barbecue place. You should be the you should be the only choice for mobile barbecue. L&L's Mobile Barbecue. You go where, and that's a cheap way to get started. Then when you get enough money, then you can duplicate yourself. You don't have to have a restaurant. You don't have to have any of that fancy stuff. You need a corporate structure, a website, a QR code, some seasoning, some barbecue sauce, and some meat, bro. That's
Gotcha.
it.
Well, I appreciate the advice.
Absolutely, bro. Like it. I mean, I understand you keep saying you're not a business person. I know that's your way of saying, well, I've never done this before, but most people have never done it before. You got to try. And I'm going to give you. I am always going to give you the like. I'm going to encourage you to try. And even when you fail, I'm going to encourage you to try again. Like it's just. I mean, there's ways to do like even having a Google My Business page and looking at the events that are going on inside of your city or inside of your state, looking to see if there's any big flea markets there, looking to see where the event center is, um you could do a ton of things, but like just going on Google and looking at what events are happening what days within your area, and then calling the people that run those events. These events are ran by people, so you can call them and say, hey, I've got a food truck, I want to be able to come out there and sell my food there. What do I need to do in order to get to get registered with you guys to go out there and sell my barbecue? That, I mean,
Gotcha.
sometimes all it takes is a phone call.
True.
And then
True.
when you work with consultants, people um like Tony, and people like me, like when we help you build, man, we're gonna give you roadmaps, and we're gonna show you like what we're gonna like what we're gonna do for you. We're gonna give you something that you can look at to see, hey, this is how we're gonna get you from step A to step B to step C to step, blah blah blah. And I can show you something. Because I'm right now I'm working with a guy that wants to do he wants to start a basketball team,
Mhm.
right? He wants to
Oh yeah,
do, but
that one.
he wants to mentor the boys, and he wants to coach the boys and put them in tournaments and stuff like that.
But
And
he has to have a starting capital of at least 10,000,
mm-mm.
and that's from somebody who I know already has a team in Atlanta. So they already, and they have multiple teams. But to just start, they told
Look at
me
that. You
10,000
see
was
that?
there.
Oh shoot, my light. This is his roadmap that I made, right?
Yeah.
And if you scroll through it, like there's different things inside of there. I have charts in there to be able to show him. I got ways in order to break down everything within his business, like visualizing everything that he's going to do, his trajectory when it comes to revenue and growth. I also have the same thing. He's in the military, so I'm going to teach him about his TSP, because for whatever reason he's not putting money into his TSP. I don't understand that, but he's not putting money into his TSP because he doesn't understand it. And he's in the military, and you have to have a TSP, and he's not putting money into it. So there's different things that people don't understand and you don't know until you know. And right now you're up here with people that actually do know and are trying to help you get towards your goals. You probably don't even want to really work for the state full time, man. You want to be making barbecue for people.
Exactly.
So I mean, we
That's
gotta. I mean, look, bro. Look, you see the number. Text Bill to 256-857-2204 and let's do it, man. Let's do it. I
I'll
mean,
think about it.
that's y'all's
But I
problem.
truly appreciate.
Y'all thinking too much. Just do it. You've been thinking for how long? How long you had this business?
I've had it for man, I don't even know. I've been cooking, still cooking, but I don't know.
I could tell, bro. It's been too long. You've been thinking this whole time. How much more do you need to think? Well, what do I have to do in order for you to get this business started?
Bro, I don't even know, bro. I don't have
You don't want to be in business, bro. Get your certification and go get into the trades. Or go and get in
What I know
cybersecurity.
cybersecurity.
Oh yeah. Oh
Bro, I've been
yeah.
working for the state for years.
Yeah, but you're making $40,000.
What do you think you're gonna make working for the state? You don't
I
do it
know
because
you're
you
not
want
gonna
the
make a
money.
lot working for the state
You
because you're
do it
getting
for the
paid with
love.
taxpayer money.
You
The
do it
love
for
of
the love
what?
of helping people.
Oh,
Do you think so? You think if the state loses a person like me who do it for the love of helping the people, you know what they lose?
they'll
They lose
replace you
great
with
customer,
somebody that's just like you, man.
but
Come
they
on
lose
now.
great customer service. They lose great customer service. They lose. Oh, so you don't think that's important? Oh, you don't think the state provides customer service?
I think it's more important for you to be able to retire comfortably in
So,
the United States and then be able to give something to your daughters. I think that's more
so you
important.
rather go to Best Buy and get great customer service than when you go to a state
Hey,
agency?
bro, look, who's more important? The citizens of the state or your daughters?
Both. They're both important.
My kids are always going
I'm
to
a,
be more
I'm a
important,
guy.
man. It's a difference of
That's why I
mindset with
cook.
me and you. My kids are always
That's
going to
why
be
I
more
cook.
important.
Because I'm a person that I like to serve. So that's why I cook.
Well,
So
build your
that's the part.
business while you're working. And then once your business takes off, hire employees in order to run your business, build SOPs, employee handbooks, systems, and procedures so that if you get hit by a bus, your business is still growing and making money. And then you can continue to do your work with the
Hold up.
state and also have a business at the same time and pursue your passion.
If I get hit by a bus, you would call me lazy.
What?
Yeah. See, according to you, I'm in the middle class. I make about 40-some thousand. If I get hit by a bus and I need any type of federal assistance or any type of assistance, you would call me lazy.
I think you have a poor outlook on who I am because I'm definitely not against public assistance. I'm against you guys being on public assistance for decades. I'm against that. But if you need then you need it. I don't discriminate, bro. I help there's been trans people that come up here and I help them too.
There's just a lot of misconceptions about people who
okay, how about this? How about this, bro? How about this, right? So you're a parent, right? And you got two girls.
Yes.
Okay. Did you learn anything up here from me when it comes to stocks, real estate, or anything like that?
Yeah. I mean,
are you gonna teach that to your girls now?
Well, I think I'm going to I don't know if I would let them. I'm just kind of dabbling. I don't know if I would treat money like you treat money.
Hold on, that's not what I asked. I'm saying, are you going to teach them the things that I said up here when it comes to building generational wealth? Are you going to teach that to your daughters?
I don't know because I don't really. I'm not a gambler.
To me, that's lazy.
Why? Because I'm not a gambler?
Because that's laziness of the mind.
Because you would go to the casino and you would take 1,000 and you would blow 1,000. You would make it, or you would make 2 or 3. I would not. I'm more
trying to play it a little too safe. I don't know, man. Yeah. I think it's mentally lazy to learn things that could benefit your family and not teach it to them so they could be better within the United States and make their own decision on how they're going to feel about things. But withholding the information is how we got to the point that we are right now with people within the country not even understanding how to retire within the United States. You guys are telling them to save their money and to go to college and do all these things, but you're not telling them what to do with the money that they make. I think that's lazy parenting.
That could be true. I mean, and it's not selfish, Tyler. Come on, Tyler. Bring Tyler on stage. Tyler had a lot to say down there. Bring Tyler. Tyler had a lot to say down there.
Just saying, bro. Anybody in here that wants to start their business or you're an employee and you want a better job and you want to get on the program, text the number, man. We're going to get you there. Oh, he came. Hey, he came up and then you left.
Come on, man. Come on, man.
He came up and then he left, man. Come on, bro. Come on, man. James, I'm sorry. Crystal, ma'am, how you doing? Crystal Home Assist. Hello. You're muted. I don't know if you need to unmute yourself or not.
Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Hi, I was on, I think 2 days ago.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just listening in. There were spaces, so I joined.
Okay.
I don't really have a question.
Okay, no problem. James.
Hey, what's going on? I think I misinterpreted your panel. I thought it was open dialogue. My bad.
No, go ahead.
No. I joined when Rail was up and everything, but I love what you're doing. Nice to meet you. I followed you too, and I appreciate you
I
spreading
appreciate
this.
that.
If I could just share my story, I started my business earlier this year, and I was on the fence, corporate job, safe, not doing anything, saying I was gonna start that business, and got all the books and everything, and never started. And actually, December, I was let go at my job. And so I cashed in my 401k and started my business and took
Everybody
more
thinks that their
control, and it's
job
the
is
best
safe
thing.
until it ain't, man. He's talking about that state job, and that's cool. Like, I'm glad he's doing what he's doing. He's passionate about it,
Yeah,
but you can be let go at any time, man. It's not as safe as you think.
yeah. And I was one of those employees that was fully remote. And so I went through a little bit of everything that was mentioned, and I feel way better investing in myself. And I'd say, anybody that's on the sideline thinking about it, just do it. I mean, you can't not like delete any of the risk. There's going to be risk. You got to take the risk. Everyone that's made it took risk. They've had losses, but on the other side of that, there's been a lot of successes.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, guys. Hey, look, and Tyler, thanks so much for being a follower of the channel and being a contributor to the channel, man. I really appreciate you as well. Guys, hey, man, look, it was just a short one, okay? Like, I mean, we're gonna have this topic up. I wanted to give a little sneak peek to the real fans, and to the real supporters of the channel. Yes, I'm still going live in the mornings. I'm going to be going live with this topic tomorrow morning at 5:30 Central Time. If you guys want to come in and be a part of the conversation, you're more than welcome to come in and do that. And if you guys, for the people that want to book consultations, it is $80 a month. You can go ahead and text Bill to 256-857-2204. If you're an employee, or you're trying to be a business owner, or you're already a business owner and things aren't going the way that you want them to go, text a number, get with us, and let's go ahead and build something great for you and your family. Okay, guys, that's all I got for you today. Uh, be here tomorrow morning for the real debate, because we all know these folks act a fool early in the morning. So y'all have a good one. I'll see you tomorrow morning. I'm out. Okay, I'm out. Niles Watson, thanks so much for the follow, man. Appreciate that. Anybody else want to follow? Anybody else? Anybody else want to follow so I can shout it out, man? Go do it now. Forever hold your peace. Does anybody else want to follow? Because I don't want to end it if you guys are going to be following. I'll shout you out. No? Nobody? All right, guys, make sure that when the live ends that you hit the red button to register for our wealth building class on the 20th. It's going to be at 11 Central Time. Register for the class so that you can be there and learn about 25 different wealth builders within the United States. Okay? Make sure you're registering. Make sure you show up. It's going to be a good class. Our other class with business plans went really, really well. So we're going to continue to do this 2 times a month in order to educate you guys and help you learn. All right. All right, guys. I'm going. Thank y'all so much. Shoot me a follow on here. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube as well. No Excuses Podcast Official. And I'll see you tomorrow morning at 5:30. I'm out. Peace, man.